Hello everyone. In this accounting standard, we will be learning about provisions, contingent liability and contingent asset. What will we learn? The definitions of provision, when we have to recognize it, how much we have to recognize it. Same for contingent liability and contingent asset also. Okay. So we will begin with the concept number 1 we have here, objective of AS 29. See, what does it say? The standard deals with the recognition criteria, the measurement basis and disclosure requirement of provision, contingent liability and contingent asset. It means what? That कि भाई रिकॉग्नाइज कब करना है, बैलेंस शीट में रिकॉग्नाइज करना है, प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस में रिकॉग्नाइज करना है, कितना रिकॉग्नाइज करना है, हाउ मच यू हैव टू रिकॉग्नाइज. दैट इज व्हाट टेल्स अस द मेजरमेंट बेसिस. दैट इज हाउ मच टू रिकॉग्नाइज, measurement tells us how much to recognize, recognition criteria tells us when to recognize, when to recognize means when you are supposed to show it in the books of accounts, whether it is balance sheet or profit and loss. Measurement tells us how much, what should be the amount of provision, what should be the amount of contingent liability. And disclosure means where will it appear in our final accounts. Okay, that whether you have to write it in the balance sheet or after the balance sheet in notes to accounts, that we are going to learn in the accounting standard 29. Okay, now applicability says, it says that the standard does not discuss about provision of financial instrument, executory contracts, insurance policy and provision as per AS 7, 22 and 19. What does it basically say? That whenever you are providing the provisions for depreciation, provision for doubtful debts, all those are not covered in this standard. Only those provisions are covered where it includes the payment, or you can say there is outflow of resources. For example, say we used to write provision for taxation. What does it mean? It means that the company is separating some amount of money, or you can say the company is providing some amount of money to pay their taxes in future. See, you can understand like this. Suppose a company has 1 lakh rupees in its profit and loss account. Okay, 1 lakh rupees in profit and loss account. Now company knows that this is 31st March, I have 1 lakh rupees in my profit and loss account. Within coming 2 to 3 months, the company is supposed to pay tax of, let's say, 15,000 rupees. Okay, so company knows that tax payable will be around 15,000 rupees. What company does? It knows that March is the closing of the year, so we are preparing balance sheet on 31st March. Within the period of 6 months, say 30th September, the company has to pay the tax. Now company knows that as on 31st March, if I separate the 15,000 rupees today only, it will benefit me because I am saving money to pay the tax. That's why that saving money for tax, that we are separating money from my total fund of 1 lakh, if I am separating this money, that is called as that I am providing funds to pay for tax, or you can say I am keeping that money separate. Okay, that keeping that money separate, we maintain the account for provision for taxation. See, you can understand like this. Suppose my dad gave me 10,000 rupees pocket money. Okay, now out of 10,000, say I make 1,000 rupees I keep separate to buy bicycle. I keep again 2,000 rupees for food, restaurant and all those with my friends. Okay, and rest 7,000 I keep that for my girlfriend. Understood? Now if I am keeping that amount of money from my total amount of money, it does not mean that I am paying this money to somebody right now. No, it means I am just keeping separately that amount of money, so that in future whenever I will need it, I can take out from that particular account. Okay, so provision for taxation account is maintained by the company itself, so that whenever the future liability for taxation comes, company can meet it very easily. Understood? We will learn this in detail in the future capsules. See, it says provision, concept number 3 says, see, provision is a liability which can be measured only by using a substantial degree of estimation. It means you have to think, you have to make an estimate. We do not know how much we have to make the provision. Okay, what do? We generally make an estimate, okay, this much amount would be required to pay the tax, okay. We can just estimate. How can we estimate? You will say, sir, how can you just estimate any amount? See, we estimate from our past experiences. Suppose I am in the 5th year of a business or 6th year of business. So from past 3-4 years, if I know that I am paying every year 14 to 15,000 rupees tax, so this year also I will make provision for tax of 15,000. Now there comes a doubt that, sir, what if we are in the 1st year of business? How much provision we will make? So we will provide an estimate or some percentage according to the industry, that okay, if I am having a 1 lakh rupees profit, so it is my estimate that I will be paying 15 to 20,000 rupees as tax, okay. See, there is no loss in making the provision, okay. It is not a loss. It is just that I am being safe, that I am being conservative. Why we are providing some money, why we are creating provision? So in the future, no, it will help me to meet my liability. Easy enough. Now, we provide money, or you can say we create provision so that we can follow the concept of prudence. That also you can say. Why? I am being prudent, I am being conservative, that I have already separated the amount for that particular expense. Understood? Now, after this, provision is a liability which can be measured only by using substantial degree of estimation is done. Then, what is liability? See, it is a present obligation, please focus on the word, which arises from the past events, the settlement of which is expected to result in an outflow of future economic benefit. What does it mean? See, understand carefully. Provision is a liability. What does liability means? Liability is all those obligations, all those duties where there will be outflow of future economic benefit. What does it mean? I have to provide some future economic benefit. Say for example, I can say that I purchased goods from a rupees 20,000 in, you can say, March 2023. Okay. Now, suppose you can say that date will be on 10th March. Fair enough. As on 31st March, I did not pay any amount. Okay. On 31st March, I am preparing the balance sheet. So you can say that if I am preparing the balance sheet, I have to write in the current liability the name of A. Why am I supposed to write the name of A? Understand, I purchased goods from him, but I have not made any payment to him, right? I am supposed to pay him 20,000. It means there will be an outflow of future economic benefit. Future economic benefit can be that there can be an outflow of cash. I might pay him through cash. I might give him a check. I might give him some bills. Understood? So I have to make a payment. There will be some outflow from our side to A, because we have to pay for that 20,000 rupees. Understood? It means you can say that I have an present obligation arising from past event. What was the past event in this case? We purchased goods from A in past. Understood? So in past there was some event due to which today I have an obligation, I have a duty. Today I have a duty means I have a present obligation to pay something, that is called as outflow of future economic benefit. Understood? Now, after this, that is about liability. Now, what we have to discuss is what is obligation. See, liability and this is obligation, you can say duty to act in a certain way arising from binding contracts, statute or business practice. See, obligation means I have particular duty. In some case we might have a duty that we have to pay some money to the purchaser. Okay, from we have purchased the goods, so I have to make the payment, that is my duty. Or say he tells me that if you are buying goods from me, so after 3 months or after 4 months, say if I am purchasing raw material, say I am purchasing thread, okay, I purchased raw material thread from A rupees 20,000. A told me that, sir, you have taken 20,000 rupees raw material on say 10th March. He tells me on 20th May you are supposed to provide me finished goods, say 100 shirts, which are worth 20,000 obviously, because I am supposed to pay him 20,000. He tells me you purchase raw material from me and then you give me 100 shirts after 2 months or 3 months whatsoever. So it means whatever he will tell me that I have to pay, if he tells me you have to pay the cash, I will pay him cash. He is telling me I don't want cash. He is saying I am giving you raw material, you give me finished goods. That's it. So I will give him finished goods. That's why it is saying duty to act in a certain way. Whatever way A will tell, that we will follow. Okay, इसका मतलब A जो भी बोलेगा ना कि मुझे पैसे चाहिए तो ठीक है भाई पैसे ले जा. अगर A बोलेगा मुझे शर्ट दे दो तो शर्ट ले जा. अगर बोलेगा मुझे 20,000 रुपए का चेक दे दो तो चेक ले जा. Whatever our contract will say, we will follow that. That is our obligation. Now, what will we do? We will break the word obligation, and from that we will derive our accounting standard 29. Understand how we are doing this. See. Now, see, I will tell you few situations. According to that, we will make the definition. Okay. Suppose there is an obligation. Now, if in an obligation we are 100% sure that there will be a liability, I have to make outflow of future economic benefit, or you can say, for simple words, I have an obligation to pay 20,000 rupees from the person I have purchased the raw material. So I can say that there is a 100% chances, or you can say we are 100% sure that we have to make the payment. Simple. Or the second option, we can say that we are more than 50% sure that we have to make the payment. More than 50 means 60, 70, 80. Okay, that we will discuss in future also. In many questions also we will discuss. Just I am breaking into 4 parts so I can tell you what this accounting standard is telling us. Now, if the chances, or if the obligation on us is 100% sure that okay, I have to definitely make the payment, as in our example we purchased raw material from A, so 100% sure we have to make the payment. If suppose we are sure for more than 50%, there is an obligation on us that you might have to pay, you might not have to pay. Sir, what is the example of that? See, you can understand that, say for example, you can say if suppose somebody has filed a suit against us. Okay, now we can say that if a person has filed a suit against our company, I am sure that there is a chances of 60% that I will win the case. Okay, if I will win the case, then it is no problem. But suppose there is a chance of more than 50 to 60% or say 70% that we might have to make the payment. It means we have an obligation, or there can be a duty on us where we are supposed to pay the money. There is chances more than 50% that we will lose the case. That is what we are talking about. When there are more chances of losing the case, that is this more than 50%. Simple. See, there can be chances more than 50%. You will say, sir, there can be chances which are less than 50%. Very good. So, chances can be less than 50% also. Simple. Now, you can say chances can be less than 50% or it can be equal to 50%, we can say. Okay. Now, suppose there is another case against us where we can say that there are very less chances of losing. Okay, might be some 2 to 3%, 4%. So, to be on safer side, what do we take? We take that there are less than 5% chances that we might lose the case. Understood? Now understand what is the wordings. If we are 100% sure that we will lose the case, okay, or we have to make the payment, this is called as the obligation is certain. The obligation is certain. You can say certain obligation. It means it is entirely certain, 100% sure you have to make the payment. After that, we are saying more than 50%. More than 50%, you can say it means it is a probable obligation. Probable, it means more likely than not. These are the wordings they use, more likely than not. That is, if there is 51% chances of losing the case, it means we have a probable obligation, that you can say that there is a probability that I will lose the case. Okay, understood? That obligation becomes probable, that we might have to pay the money, we might not have to pay the money. There can be only two things, but they are saying we might have to pay the money. The ratio, or you can say the weightage of that thing, we might have to pay the money, is higher than 50%. That is what probable means. Now, if there is a less chances, means less than 50% chances of losing the case, we can say this is possible. The word used is possible obligation. There can be a possibility that we might have to pay the case. Less than 50% means what? Not more likely. It means not more likely than not. Say, you can say that we are filing a case, some suit against a company, and there is hardly 10 to 20% or 30% chance that we might have to pay any money. Okay, so we can say that obligation on us is less than 50%. Understood? So you can say there can be a possible obligation. Okay, I am not saying probable. Please remember, these two words are very important in this accounting standard. Okay, now it means when the word possible is coming, you can say the chances are less than 50% that I might have to pay the money. Then if the chances are less than 5%, we call it that there are very remote chances of losing the case. Very remote chances of losing the case. So for all these cases, we will name now. Please focus on the names. If we are sure 100% I have to pay the money, that is called as liability. Understood? That is called as liability. But if there is a probable obligation, that is the chances are more than 50% that I might lose the case, then what will I do? I will create a provision. Provision for that particular case, provision for damages I can create. That's why, okay, whenever they are saying there is a probable obligation, you will create a provision. Okay, if there is a possibility of the obligation occurring, there is a possible obligation, what will we write? We will write contingent liability. If there is a remote chances of losing, very remote, that there is hardly 1 or 2% or 3% chance that I might lose the case, then accountancy says, our accounting standard says, ignore it. Because this small percentage we cannot account for that, okay, because it is hardly 2 to 3%, we can ignore it, that is fine. So this marks the beginning of our accounting standard 29, that what all concepts we are supposed to study, how we will record that, and what we will be talking about in this accounting standard 29. Okay, now understand, if I describe it, see, after recognizing, we have to say, whenever we will be recognizing the provision, we will solve some capsules that will tell us how practically we will solve these examples. Okay, see, recognition of provision. When will you recognize the provision? See, these three conditions are applicable. Provision shall be recognized only when it satisfies the following three conditions. What are the three conditions? Please be very careful. The entity should have a present obligation arising from past event. Outflow should be probable. I have already told you meaning of probable here. This is probable. I told you whenever the outflow is probable, that I might have to make some payment, there might be some outflow of cash from my side, that is called as there is a probable outflow of economic resources. So that is probable. Understood? Only in that case we create the provision. That is what written here, that outflow of future economic benefit should be probable. After that, provision should be measured reliably by using a substantial degree of estimation. You are supposed to estimate the amount. You have to understand that how much provision you are making for. Okay, you cannot just make a random guess and you can provide that. You have to make a particular calculation taking all the assumptions properly. Understood? Now see, capsule number 1 says X Limited gives a 2-year warranty on the product sold. Okay, as per the terms of contract, the company should either repair or replace the defective item during the warranty period. Fair enough. Based on the past experience, it is probable that there will be some claims under the warranty. Okay, it means, see what X Limited is saying, that we provide 2-year warranty for all the products we sell. Okay, and they also have that past experience that every year some people come and they claim their warranty, they have to get it repaired or they have to replace the defective item. Fair enough. They are saying state whether the entity should make a provision for warranty. See, every year some people are coming. Every year if they are coming for with their products, we as a company have to repair it or we have to replace it. To repair or to replace, there will be some expenses. So you can say there will be some outflow of economic resources. We have to spend some money. So understand, it means because I have already sold few products in the past year, now I have a present obligation that I might have to repair them or replace them. So you can say that the obligation is probable. See, they have already given in the question, it is probable. When they have already said it is probable that there will be some claims, it means very easy. It is the hint for us. You have to create the provision. Simple. Now read. Provision should be recognized only when it satisfies the above 3 conditions. What are the 3 conditions? It has a present obligation, outflow are probable by way of repair and replacement. Warranty provision can be measured reliably based on previous year experience. Okay. So as all the 3 conditions are satisfied, the entity should recognize the provision for warranty. Understood? Easy enough. If you will focus on the wordings, right, it is very, very easy. See, after this, we have capsule number 2. Check. It says, Board of Directors of X Limited passed a resolution on 30th March to carry out major repair to machine and expansion of business. Okay. The total expenditure amounted to 10 lakh rupees and 250 lakh for repairs and expansion respectively. Okay. So 10 lakh rupees for repairs and 250 lakh for expansion. Repair and expansion of business took place in May 2012. We passed a resolution on 30th March 2012. In May 2012, everything happened. On 31st March is its financial year end. Should the company create any provision? See, understand now. As on 31st March, what have we done? We have just passed a resolution in our company. See, you can understand like this, that on 31st March, no, we all are sitting in our room. Okay, we all are sitting in our hall. Who all? Me, my parents are sitting, grandparents are sitting, my brother is sitting. Okay, we all are thinking that okay, in the month of May we will renovate our house. Okay, so as of today, have I paid money to anybody? Did I enter into contract with anybody? No. Have I incurred any expense? Did renovation start? No, renovation did not start. It means you can say we are just talking in our house. We are just talking. We have not incurred any expenses. That is what resolution means. Okay. Now, it means I do not have any present obligation to pay anybody for the repair and expansion as of now. Understood? Because there is no agreement. First thing, the work itself has not started. It will start in month of May. Now understand, you can say, sir, if there is no liability on us, if there is no obligation on us, then there is no probable outflow of economic resources. If there is no probable obligation, there is no probable outflow, you cannot say that it is a provision for you. Understood? Read. Provision is a liability. It is a present obligation, that is duty, where there is no alternative to escape. Okay. The entity does not have an obligation to repair and expand the business. That is, the entity does not have an obligation to pay anybody as no repair or expansion took place on the balance sheet date. भाई 31st मार्च को तो कुछ भी रिपेयर नहीं हुआ, 31st मार्च को तो बिजनेस एक्सपांशन भी नहीं हुआ, तो देयर इज नो प्रोविजन ऑल्सो. It can avoid repairs and expansion by its future decision. Suppose in the month of April they again pass a resolution that we are not taking that decision to repair, we are cancelling that. So it is also possible. As there is no present obligation in existence, it need not make any provision. Understand this. We need not make any provision because there was no obligation on 31st March. Simple enough. Now, after this, we have capsule number 3, C. X Limited has taken a building on lease for 15 years, okay. As per the lease agreement, lessee has obligation to restore the building to the original condition. देखो भाई, X Limited ने किराए पर एक building ली on rent. Suppose they have taken on rent on lease, one thing only. They have said that we will be using it for 15 years and after 15 years, when we will again give the keys back to the owner, the building will be in the original condition. We will not damage any building. We will not damage any part of the building. If it is damaged, we will renovate it. Okay, that is what they are saying. Simple enough. It means at the end of lease term, when the estimated cost of restoration to the building owner, okay, or you can say, or they will provide estimated cost of restoration to the building owner. Should the entity create a provision? If yes, when should it create? What they are saying, that on 31st March, should we create a provision? Now see, you will create a provision whenever you have an obligation. You will have an obligation when you know that the building has been damaged. Now see, provision should be recognized only when the entity has a present obligation from the past event. Outflow is probable. See, these are the again and again they are saying the three conditions. Okay, present obligation, probable outflow of future economic benefit, and it should be measured reliably. Okay. In the given situation, present obligation arises only when the building is modified or any damages have occurred. See, अगर मैं कोई खर्चा करूँगा या मैंने बिल्डिंग डैमेज कर दी या पेंट खराब हो गया, only then I will restore the building. No, only then I will renovate the building. If building is in original condition itself, I have not damaged any part of the building. If building is in proper condition, why will I spend the money? Now, until the date of modification or damage to the building, the entity need not make any provision. अरे भाई, जब कोई खर्चा हुआ ही नहीं, जब कोई डैमेज हुआ ही नहीं, तो मेरे पे कोई ऑब्लिगेशन नहीं है. कोई ऑब्लिगेशन नहीं है, तो I will not spend any money. If I am not spending any money, there is no outflow of resources. If there is no outflow of resources, it means there is no need of provision. Understood? It is just a cycle. Okay, if you can understand how it will be connecting, you just have to connect the definition. That's it. After connecting the definition, it will become very easy that whether we will be creating provision or not. Now, then it is saying, as per new legislation, an entity is required to fit smoke filters to its factories by 30th September 2011. Okay, so 30th September 2011, the entity has to pay 75,000 as penalty if it is delayed. Okay, the cost of purchase of smoke filters amounts to 21 lakhs. The entity has not purchased and fit the smoke filters as on 31st March 2011. See, what was the last date? Last date was 30th September 2011. We are talking about 31st March 2011. It means, suppose this is 31st March 2011. They are saying till 31st March company has not spent any money on smoke filters. Understood? So they are asking, the entity has not purchased and fit the smoke filters on 31st March. Should it make a provision as on 31st March? Now understand, if I am standing on 31st March preparing my balance sheet, okay, I still have 6 months time to fit the smoke filters. Simple. And another part is they are asking about the penalty of 75,000. Arey bhai, I still have 6 months to fit that, no? So I need not make any provision for the penalty because I still have 6 months to fit the smoke filters. Even if I have not made any provision for smoke filters, even if I have not put smoke filters in my factory, I will not make any provision for the penalty because I will say I still have 6 months time now. Why should I make a provision for penalty? Understood? Now read. Provision is a present obligation, past obligating event. There is no present obligation to pay anybody as on 31st March as the last date is not expired yet. Understood? It is not liable to pay the penalty. Arey bhai, why should we pay the penalty? Last date is still there, no? And it has not acquired any smoke filters till the balance sheet date. Hence, not liable to pay anybody. So there is no need to make any kind of provision. Understood? Very easy. Now comes the twist in the next question. See, what does it say? It is saying, continuing to the above question, the entity has not installed smoke filters till 31st March 2012. Okay, what was the last date? Last date was 31st September 2011. We have not installed smoke filters till 31st March 2012. Okay, should it make a provision now? Now think. The last day was 30th September. It has already gone because now we are on 31st March 2012. See, this was 31st March 11. Last day was 30th September 11. But we are now on 31st March 12. Now as on 31st March 12 we know that the last date has already gone. Now I have to prepare provision for penalty. We all know now I have to pay the penalty of how much? 75,000. So now I will prepare the provision. So read the answer with me. Provision is present obligation as a result of past obligating event as the company has not complied with the statute. भाई जो लॉ ने कहा था कंपनी ने वो फॉलो नहीं किया तो पेनल्टी तो भरनी होगी. It has the present obligation to pay the penalty of 75,000. Hence, it has to make a provision for 75,000 as on March 31, 2012. The entity is not liable to pay the amount for smoke filter cost. क्योंकि हमने तो स्मोक फिल्टर खरीदा ही नहीं. अगर स्मोक फिल्टर खरीदते तो ऑब्लिगेशन होता पेमेंट का. It has not acquired it on the balance sheet date as there is no obligation on 31st March 12. It should not make any provision for smoke filter. देखो दो प्रोविजन है, प्रोविजन फॉर पेनल्टी, प्रोविजन फॉर स्मोक फिल्टर. पेनल्टी तो भरनी होगी बिकॉज द लास्ट डेट इज एक्सपायर्ड. वी डू नॉट हैव टू मेक एनी पेमेंट फॉर स्मोक फिल्टर क्योंकि मैंने खरीदा ही नहीं. I have not purchased smoke filter, so why will I make the payment? If there is no making of payment, it means there is no outflow of resources. If there is no outflow of resources, you can say easily, I will not make any provision. Understood? Because I have not purchased smoke filters, right? Now, this is very important question. Please read it carefully, okay? Now, next question we have here is, Raja Limited has a chemical factory near Hyderabad. And it says it contaminated the locality for several years and has not cleaned it up so far as it is not required by any statute. देखो भाई एक केमिकल फैक्ट्री थी. अब केमिकल फैक्ट्री जिस लोकेलिटी में थी, जिस एरिया में थी, वो पूरी की पूरी गंदी कर दी उन लोगों ने एरिया. सपोज द वेस्ट, दे आर डंपिंग द वेस्ट इन दोज विलेजेस, दे आर डंपिंग द वेस्ट इन द रिवर्स, they are dumping the waste in the lakes or whatever gardens are there, whatever land is there, they are dumping the waste. That's why they are saying they have contaminated the locality. Okay, अब they did not clean it. Why? Because it is not required by any statute, because there was no legal requirement, there was no law saying that you have to clean that land, and also they also did not clean. But as on 31st March 2010, based on the evidence available, it is virtually certain that a law is going to be enacted shortly after the year end, and based on that, entity has to clean up the locality which was already contaminated. अब एक लॉ पास हो गया, वहां पे जो गवर्नमेंट थी उन्होंने एक लॉ पास करने की पूरी संभावना है. इट इज वर्चुअली सर्टेन, इट इज नॉट सर्टेन, इट इज वर्चुअली सर्टेन. व्हाट डज इट मीन? दैट पीपल आर एक्सपेक्टिंग that there will be some law, they will pass the law in that particular state saying that you have to clean the locality. Now Raja Limited also knows that they might have to spend some money to clean the locality. Okay, now is there any requirement of making any provision on 31st March 2010? So you can say that again the three conditions, there is a present obligation as a result of past event, which means there will be outflow of resources. It is probable from cleaning the contamination. Obviously, if you will clean the contamination, clean your locality, then there will be obviously some expenditure. You can measure reliability, you can measure reliably, so you can say that you can measure how much amount of expense would be there. Okay, so you can say as all the three conditions are satisfied, the entity should make a provision for the best estimate of the cleanup cost, that how much the company is supposed to pay for the cleanup cost. Company will have an estimate. Okay, they can easily estimate how much money they have to spend. See, whenever you are doing some mistake, right, whenever you are doing anything wrong, obviously you know that you have to pay some price for that. So obviously Raja Limited also knows that at some point of time they have to spend some money. So obviously they have a particular idea that okay, this much money would be spent to clean that thing. Okay, now moving further, the next concept we have here is change in provision. See, provision should be reviewed at each balance sheet date based on the best evidence available as on that date. Okay, if there is no outflow of future economic benefit as on the subsequent balance sheet date, the provision should be reversed. See, what does it mean? Say suppose I create a provision for a damages. Okay, provision for damages, you can say that suppose against our company somebody has filed a suit. Okay, we are fighting that case in the court, and as on 31st March 2011 I created a provision, say 1 lakh rupees. Okay, but the court result did not come till 31st March 2011. The provision is as it is 1 lakh rupees. Now, after 1 year, 31st March 2012, the provision for damages will be there. Okay, but now, after this entire 1 year, no, 31st March to 31st March 2012, then we understood that we might win the case and we don't have to pay any damages. So, I can say that provision for damages are not required only. It means I can say we are reversing the provision. We do not need the provision. It means on 31st March 11, I created provision for damages. On 31st March 12, we are reversing the provision for damages. We do not need provision for damages now, okay? Because the chances of winning are in our favor. Understood that? So you can say that as it is mentioning here that if there is no outflow of future economic benefit on the subsequent balance sheet date. Subsequent balance sheet date, this was 31st March 11. Subsequent balance sheet date will be 31st March 12. The provision should be reversed. Simple enough. See, you have to check provision each and every year on 31st March that whether we need this provision or we do not need this provision. If we do not need, just remove that from there. Understood? Now, future operating losses. See, now the business owners or the business manager might think that we might have losses in the future. Okay, so we can create a provision for that also. No, see, losses are not the liabilities. Understand this. Loss is loss, liability is liability. Why? Loss means there is a loss in the business operation, in sales. Okay, all those things. There is a loss due to the normal course of business, in the normal course of business. But liability means what? That we have to pay money to somebody. Understood? So losses does not mean liability. So if it does not mean liability, you cannot say that we have to create the provision. It means no provision can be created for the losses. The future operating loss of a business do not meet the definition of liability. Hence, no provision is made for that future operating losses. Understood? Now, after this, the next concept we have here is concept number 7, contingent liability. What does it mean? See, a contingent liability is a possible obligation that arises from past events. A possible obligation. What meaning I told you about the word possible? That there is less than 50% chance of me losing the case. It means there is 10%, 20% or 30% chance that I might lose the case in the court. Okay, if I will lose the case, I have to pay some money. It is my obligation to pay the money. So that obligation is called as contingent liability. What does the word contingent mean? Contingent means that it is dependent on the future event. It may happen or it may not happen. It is dependent on the result of the court case, you can say. Understood? So, by definition, we understand that a possible obligation that arises from the past event and the existence of which will be confirmed only by the occurrence or non-occurrence of one or more uncertain future events. It means suppose, say on 1st March 11, somebody filed a case against our company, okay, and after that 31st March 11 came. This is just 1 month. On 31st March 11 we thought that there is a 10% or 20% chance that we might lose the case. Okay, 10 or 20%, it means it is possible that we might lose the case. It is not probable. If it was probable, we will create provision. Here it is just possible because 10 or 20% chance are there to lose the case. So I will say I might have to pay some money, or you can say I might be liable to pay some money. So when there is a word I might be liable, it means it depends on the occurrence or non-occurrence of future event, because it depends on the result of the court. So I will say I might have to pay the obligation. I might have an obligation. It means I have a contingent liability. I do not have the liability. I have contingent liability. कि मतलब ऐसा हो सकता है कि पैसे देने पड़े, ऐसा हो सकता है कि कुछ रुपए मुझे चुकाने पड़ सकते हैं. ठीक है. Contingent which are not fully within the control of the entity. Obviously, court decision is not in the control of the entity. that is called as contingent liability. Sir, how will we show that in our balance sheet? See, that we will read in the next concept. Now, after this, the second definition says it is a present obligation arising from past event, but it is not recognized as a provision. Why it is not recognized as a provision? Because outflow is not probable and a reliable estimate cannot be made. Whenever outflow is not probable, you cannot reliably estimate the obligation amount, so you cannot create the provision. That's why in that case also we will say it is a contingent liability. We will definitely solve some examples, don't worry about that. This is the definition of contingent liability. Why am I focusing on contingent liability? Because in the answers you have to mention these details, okay? Now, how will we recognize the contingent liability? See, the best part is it should not be recognized in the financial statement as it does not satisfy the liability definition. So, sir, we are not supposed to write in the profit and loss? No. Sir, in the balance sheet? No, not even in the balance sheet. So, sir, where will we write about the detail of contingent liability? Understand, you will write it in the footnote in notes to accounts. Understood? That is, after you prepare the balance sheet, in footnote you can write that this much is my contingent liability. Understood? Simple enough. Now, after this, we'll write here footnote. You can write it here. If outflow of future economic benefit is remote, it means it is very less. Very less, okay? It is not even material amount for us, okay? Very small liability, say 10, 20, 50,000 or 1 lakh or 2 lakh amount for big major companies. If the amount is very remote, the amount will depend again on the materiality level of the companies, okay? For a company like Reliance Limited, the remote amount will be 1 lakh, 2 lakh, even 5 lakh is the remote amount, okay? So, if outflow of future economic benefit is remote, that is very less, how will you disclose the contingent liability? You will not disclose, ignore it. Understood? But if it is not remote, say it has some material amount you have to pay in the contingent liability case, then where will you write it? You will write it in footnote at balance sheet. It means the same thing. After preparation of balance sheet, you will write here contingent liability, this. You will give the information. Simple enough. This is how you will disclose contingent liability in the financial statement. Remember, it is not inside the balance sheet. No. After the balance sheet is completed, in the footnote, you will write about the contingent liability. Simple enough. Now, see. Remember this, it is very important, okay? It is not inside the balance sheet. You can say footnote in notes to accounts. We prepare notes to accounts now after balance sheet. So that thing you can say footnote in the notes to accounts. Understood? Now, after this, we will solve a capsule. See. X Limited manufactures food products, okay? During 2011-12, 10 people died. Possibly, see the word possibly, as a result of food poisoning from products sold by the entity, okay? Legal proceeding have started seeking damages from the entity, but it disputes liability. देखो, 10 लोग X Limited का खाना खा के मर गए, ठीक है? अब कुछ लोगों ने X Limited पे केस कर दिया, लीगल प्रोसीडिंग्स चल रही है, कोर्ट केस चल रहा है, ठीक है? वो लोग सब बोल रहे हैं दैट यू पे अस द डैमेजेस. डैमेजेस मतलब जिन लोगों को भी नुकसान हुआ है, मरे हैं, तो उनके परिवार वाले कह रहे हैं हम लोग को कुछ पैसे चुकाओ तुम लोग, ठीक है? Up to the date of approval of financial statement for the year ended 31st March 12, the entity's lawyer advised that it was probable that the enterprise will not be found liable. It means they are thinking that we will not be found liable. We are probable. It means they are saying they are sure more than 50% that we do not have to make any liability, we do not have to make any payment. Okay, it means they are thinking their chances of winning are more than 50%. Now you tell me, chances of winning are more than 50%, or I can say chances of losing are less than 50%. Simple. Whenever chances of losing are less than 50%, the company will create contingent liability. I have already told you, when the chances of losing are more than 50, you create provision. When the chances of losing are less than 50, we create contingent liability. Understood? Ab, how to deal with the current situation? See, provision can be recognized only when the three conditions, that based on the information and evidence available, there is no present obligation to pay. क्यों? क्योंकि अभी कोर्ट केस चल रहा है, कोर्ट का डिसीजन नहीं आया, कोर्ट का डिसीजन नहीं आया. That's why we can say there is no obligation to pay. Okay. Second, as there is no present obligation, no future economic benefit outflow. Obviously, क्योंकि भाई कोई ड्यूटी नहीं है, मेरे पे कोई लाइबिलिटी नहीं है, why will there be outflow of future economic benefit? Hence the entity should not recognize provision in the books. ठीक है, मतलब हम लोग प्रोविजन नहीं बना सकते. But it is a contingent liability as it is a possible obligation. Remember the word possible obligation. Possibly as a result of that, which will be confirmed in the future by the court decision and future economic benefit outflow is not remote. It is not remote. See, the amount they have to pay, it is not remote. Okay, it is not, you can say it is immaterial. No, 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 no. It is not remote. It means it is not very less. It has some significant amount of damages they might have to pay. Hence, the entity should disclose this as contingent liability. Understood? Exactly what the definition is saying. If it is not remote, you can say contingent liability. See, if it is not remote, footnote in the notes to accounts as contingent liability, you have to disclose it. Understood? Now, this was the question of contingent liability. After this, what is contingent asset? See, contingent liability means what? हो सकता है कि मुझे कुछ पैसे चुकाने पड़े, मेरे लिए कोई फ्यूचर में लाइबिलिटी हो, ये हो सकता है. ठीक है, देर आर लेस चांसेस, यू कैन से देर आर लेस देन 50% चांसेस that there might be some liability for me. Accordingly, there are less than 50% chances that there might be some benefit for me in the future. That is called as contingent asset. See, it is a possible asset. It is not the probable. Understand? Probable is a heavy word. Why? Because it is more than 50%. Possible is a lighter word. Less than 50%. It is a possible asset that arises from the past event and its existence will be confirmed only by occurrence or non-occurrence of one or more uncertain future events, not wholly within the control of the enterprise. It means, and you can understand that, suppose I purchase a land in Rajasthan. Okay, if I purchase a land in Rajasthan and I assume that there might be some water in that particular land, or I might find some reserves, you can say some lithium or some kind of those gold, silver, something I can find. Okay, there are chances that there might be something like this, water, lithium, something, there can be a benefit, but that is contingent. Why? I will purchase the land. After purchasing the land, we will start working on it. So we are not sure that whether there will be some water or not. Okay, we are just thinking that there might be, and you also know that there are very less chances of finding water in the deserts of Rajasthan, in the land in Rajasthan. Understood? Now that is called as contingent asset. I am just expecting that there might be some water under my land, or there might be some oil, there might be some lithium. Okay, but remember this, it is not in the control of me, right? There might be a water, there might be water, or there might not be any water. How can I control that thing? Exactly. That's why we call it contingent asset. We do not call it asset, we call it contingent asset. That it might become my asset, it might be that there will be a profit or there won't be any profit. Understood? There might be any lithium, there might be thorium, there might be gold, but we are not sure whether there will be some gold or not. Understood? That's why we say contingent. हो सकता है कि फ्यूचर में प्रॉफिट हो सकता है कि पानी मिल जाए. बात समझ में आ गई? How to recognize that contingent asset? It should not be recognized. You cannot recognize it anywhere. Sir, you can recognize contingent liability in the footnote. Very good. But can you recognize contingent asset also in the footnote? Never. You can never record contingent asset anywhere. But sir, why we cannot record? Because we say accountancy follows concept of prudence. Sir, is it the same prudence we talked about in accounting standard 1? Very good. Concept of prudence is same. What does it say? You cannot record the future incomes, okay? क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि फ्यूचर में बहुत बेनिफिट होगा तो मैं आज ही लिख लेता हूँ कि भाई मुझे बेनिफिट हो रहा है. नो, accountancy does not allow that. Understood? You cannot record for the future profits. Now, this is the concept of contingent asset. Now, concept number 11 is reimbursement. Please focus. What does it say? Now, understand reimbursements. See, what is this concept? See, this concept, to understand this, first we will see the capsule regarding this. Understand. X Limited has recognized a provision of rupees 1 lakh for some expenses. Okay, say provision for salaries, you can say, or provision for repair of building, whatever they have recognized. Fair enough. If X Limited pays the expenditure, it can receive 60,000 from its holding company. It means what? See, you can understand this. Suppose this is A. Okay, A wants to buy mobile phone for 1 lakh rupees. Okay, A has 1 lakh rupees. That is not a problem. But A don't want to spend that money. Okay, he is a child. Now he is saying, he went to his father. He told his father that I want to buy 1 lakh rupees phone. Okay, so father is telling, see, if you are ready to spend 1 lakh rupees on your mobile phone, no, at the max I can give you 60,000 rupees. Understood? So father is saying at the max I can give you how much? 60,000 rupees. So A is now thinking, okay, if I am spending 1 lakh rupees, 60,000 I will get back from my father. That is called as reimbursement. A is spending 1 lakh to buy the phone. 60,000 will be reimbursed by his father. Okay, now read the question. If X Limited pays the expenditure, it can receive 60,000 from its holding company. Okay, receipt from holding company is probable. Probable means more than 50%, because obviously A trusts his father, right? So holding company is like father only. Now, how to present it in the balance sheet and P&L statement? Now, see, in balance sheet, X Limited has to present the provision of 1 lakh. Okay, so provision will be of 1 lakh only. Okay, that they have to show. And receivable amount of 60,000. Okay, separately. It means he has to show both the things separately. Provision of 1 lakh and receivable of 60,000. It will go in the current liability. This will go in the current asset. Simple. Now, as receivable amount is probable, it can recognize the asset. Okay, but it should not offset with liability. You cannot say that, okay, I will write 1 lakh minus 60,000, 40,000 rupees provision I will create. No, you have to create provision for 1 lakh only. You have to write receivable 60,000 separately only. Simple. Now, after this, what we are supposed to do? In profit and loss account, now, in profit and loss account, the entity can present rupees 40,000 as an expense. See why? In profit and loss 40,000, because 1 lakh rupees we will spend from our pocket, then we will receive back how much? 60,000. So you can say from our pocket we are spending how much? 40,000 rupees only. So in profit and loss you can directly write 40,000 rupees is our expense, but in the balance sheet you have to write provision separately and receivable amount separately. Understood? This is called as reimbursement. If I am spending some money, I will get it reimbursed from my holding company. You can also understand it like this. Suppose some employee from the company goes outstation. Okay, company tells the employee that whatever is the total expense at the outstation, you give us all the bills and we will reimburse you that money. It means first the employee will spend the money at the outstation. Whatever money he is spending, whenever he will come back to the company's home branch, he can take that money again from the company. So company will reimburse him that money what he has spent. Simple enough. Now you can say this is the concept of reimbursement. Now we'll read the definition. See, an entity may receive the reimbursement of expense from another party if it settles the obligation. Such asset should be treated as a separate asset. The expense must not be reduced from the provision. The reimbursed expenditure shall be reduced from the provision to show as an expense in the profit and loss account. What does it say? Asset you have to write separately, whatever is the receivable amount. Okay, receivable amount. Now provision also you have to show separately. Complete provision you have to show. Provision of 1 lakh, receivable of 60,000. Expenditure shall be reduced from provision. See, shall be reduced from provision means 1 lakh was the provision. Expenditure, reimbursed expenditure. So reimbursement how much? 60,000. It means 40,000 you can show as an expense in the profit and loss account. Understood? This is the concept of reimbursement. Now, after this we have the last concept, last two, which are restructuring provision. What is restructuring? See, whenever the management of the company is thinking that we will change the scope of business, we will change the line of the business. Say suppose we are in the shirt manufacturing industry, okay. Now suppose the management says we will now on change our manufacturing process. Now we will not produce shirts, we will produce jeans or we will produce t-shirts. It means I am changing the entire line of my business, I am changing the entire scope of my business. Or you can say that I am producing shirts in India, okay, but now I understand if I produce shirts in Bangladesh, no, the cost of each shirt will be less. So I shift my office from India to Bangladesh. So this is called as restructuring decision. So I have to create some restructuring provision. Why? Because these are very big amounts are required. These are very big expenditures. That's why we are supposed to create some provision for these expenditure. So you can say that restructuring is a program which is planned and controlled by management, obviously, which materially changes the scope of the business or the manner in which the business is conducted. It will change the operations in which the business is conducted. Okay. Example, sale or termination of a line of business. Suppose I am selling my entire shirt unit. Okay, I am selling that factory only. That is also a restructuring. And then I will start the business for jeans. Now, second is the closure of business locations in a country or region or the relocation of business activity from one country to another. That we have already seen. C is changing in management structure. Example, eliminating a layer of management. What can happen? No, suppose I have a CEO, then I have directors, then I have senior managers, then I have managers, then I have interns. So what company is thinking? No, company is thinking that we do not need senior managers, we can just remove them. So it means we are changing the layer of management we have eliminated. This is called as eliminating a layer of management. This is called as changes in the management structure. We are changing the structure of management of our company. This is called as restructuring of business, or you can say you have to create restructuring provision. See, a restructuring provision does not include the following cost. Which cost? Relocating the staff, marketing expense, investment in new system, identifiable future losses, expected disposal or gains. These are defined by accounting standard 29. This list, we cannot prepare this list as we wish, okay. Accounting standard 29 has declared this list. Now, after this we talk about disclosures. Disclosure means whatever provision we are creating, whatever contingent liability is there, we are creating provision, we are estimating the amounts, we are writing about contingent liability. We have to provide some information to the users of the financial statement. What is that information? See, you have to describe the nature of the provision. Provision is for repairs, provision is for taxation, provision is for replacement of machinery, that you have to tell, and timing of future economic benefits outflow, how much money you will be spending, how much outflow of cash will be there, that assumptions you are making, opening balance of provision, addition of provision, amount used in the from the provision, amount of provision reversed, and closing balance of provision. Basically they are saying if it is there are so many amounts, you have to create the provision account itself. In the notes to accounts you can create that, okay, just to tell, just to inform how much provision we created in this year, how much provision we used, all those details. Understood? Exactly. For contingent liability also you have to present that in the footnote. Now after this there are so many questions we are having here that we will be discussing in the next video. Till now we have understood all the concepts, disclosure, reimbursement and everything. Make the notes, read it carefully and be with me in the next video. We will solve for some capsules. Thank you so much.